Hellish, unsettling hybrid experiments. Why scientists risked death. 10 unbelievable biohybrids. 10th, human hybrids. In the early 1900s, as genetics advanced, chimpanzees, humans' closest primate relatives, naturally became main research targets soon. Back then, radical scientists proposed intervention could create a new species marrying human intelligence and chimp strength, like a pebble hitting still water, rippling widely. So Soviet hybridization pioneer Ilya Ivanov ran bold, controversial experiments in the 1920s. He sought artificial insemination to fuse human and ape genes into hybrids, but died in exile unfinished. In the 1970s, performing chimp Oliver was rumored a mutant, even a human-chimp hybrid. In 1996, University of Chicago genetics tests debunked 47 chromosomes. Oliver's skull, ears, freckles, and baldness fit chimp variation. In 2019, unverified reports said U.S. Salk Institute professor Juan Carlos Especio Belmonte's team created the first human-monkey chimera. Belmonte's team earlier grew pig, sheep embryos with few human cells. Reportedly, human-monkey chimeras developed only weeks. Development stopped before nerves or organs formed, easing ethics. Yet experiment reportedly continues in China, dodging laws. Scientifically, can humans and animals hybridize? It's complicated. Humans and chimpanzees share 98 to 99% of genes. In theory, that similarity could allow hybrid offspring. Many species can hybridize when genetic gaps are small. Lions and tigers make ligers. Horses and donkeys make mules. These cases show different species can hybridize when their chromosomes are close enough. But humans have 23 chromosome pairs. Chimps 24. This major difference may often block hybridization successfully. Gene expression, gamete compatibility, and other complexities pose technical challenges. Even if tech clears hurdles, should human hybridization proceed? If a human-animal hybrid were born, its identity would become a huge issue. Is it human or animal? Would it have the same rights as humans? Treat it as experiment or slave? Do we steal freedom from a being that may be sentient? Thoughts? Number 9. Beetle-computer hybrid. In a lab, beetle rests on bench. Antennae trembling, hair-thin metal wires coat it. This isn't insect research. It's an experiment merging life and machines. Scientists are trying to turn this beetle into a half-biological, half-mechanical biocomputer, a beetle-computer hybrid. Sounds like sci-fi, but it's happening right now. Beetles have distributed nervous systems. Their neural networks process information very efficiently. These natural traits make it ideal for biocomputing exploration. Some scientists think beetle nervous systems could power new computing, and with AI algorithms, even might outperform today's best supercomputers. Key point: the beetle body provides motion and sensing. Computer logic enables complex tasks. Programming lets scientists steer this beetle to find targets in terrain, even on risky searches. This isn't just flashy tech. The beetle-computer hybrid could enable disruptive applications across many fields soon. For disaster rescue, when rubble life signs evade normal detection, this biohybrid slips through tight cracks, sending live data to headquarters. Light, flexible body reaches spots where ordinary robots can't. Agriculture could benefit. Programmable hybrid beetles pinpoint and remove pests without heavy pesticides, protecting the environment. In city surveillance or cutting-edge labs, biomachine hybrids could redefine technology itself and redraw the line between nature and artifice. Progress worries some, asking if organisms as tools break nature's laws. Misused for spying or war, this tech could trigger unforeseeable fallout. Number 8. Human-mouse hybrid. Mouse-human fusion sounds like sci-fi, yet in scientists' labs, cross-species life is, step by step, becoming real now. Researchers created mouse embryos with human cells. Not just a mix, but true human-mouse chimeras. Some tissues already show human traits. Key lies in rejuvenating human stem cells. Human stem cells struggle in animal embryos. Shutting off one protein reset them to a naive state in just 3 hours. Cells in the state of higher plasticity and can differentiate into almost any type of cell, injected into embryos. Naive stem cells showed remarkable growth and fusion. Researchers injected 10 to 12 human stem cells into embryos with 60 to 80 mouse cells, then let them develop 17 days. Human cells merged into mouse embryos, forming liver, heart, marrow, and blood tissues. Shown, some embryos had many human red cells. More strikingly, some embryos' retinal photoreceptors were mostly human, showing potential for light sensing. This breakthrough has uses. Chimeras help scientists understand life's origin and how one cell becomes an organism. Also, humanized animal models are still irreplaceable for disease research. For some diseases, like malaria, humans show different symptoms than animals, and human cell chimeras may aid new research. A more long-term goal is to cultivate human organs based on chimeras. Imagine being able to provide faster solutions for patients waiting for organ transplants through such technology. The result excites, but scientists still stay cautious. If labs can repeat these results, it decides this tech's reliability. Adoption. Once widely proven, this technology could be revolutionary. Chimera-grown organs may curb transplant rejection and bring relief to millions of patients. 7th. Liger. You may wonder how lions and tigers, kings of Africa's savannas and Asia's jungles, could ever meet and still breed naturally. Indeed, lions and tigers rarely meet in nature, let alone mate. Most ligers are usually born through human intervention. Planned matings in captive settings like zoos or wildlife reserves. Lions and tigers are both cats, yet their chromosome counts differ. Lions have 38, tigers 36, respectively. Traditional genetics says species with different chromosome counts have fertile young. Mismatched pairing disrupts meiosis, so gametes can't divide normally. However, the birth of the liger breaks this rule. Although they often cannot reproduce due to inheriting different numbers of chromosomes from their parents, usually 37, and aneuploids state their very existence is a miracle of life's diversity. Ligers show traits from both parents. A lion-like mane, but tigerish light brown color or stripes, and they're usually bigger than pure lions or tigers. Their parents were top of their species. Hybrid vigor sped the cub's growth. This size advantage theoretically gives ligers greater strength and survival capabilities. Yet reality is harsh. With unique genes, ligers may develop serious health issues while growing, immune defects, heart disease, and bone problems. Since ligers can't breed naturally, their population relies on captive breeding, making their survival even more fragile. Debate over ligers never ends. Critics say human tampering with nature insults ecosystems at its core. Liger births amaze, yet many suffer health issues and total habitat dependence. Whether this is ethical still remains worth considering. Chasing breakthroughs and curiosity, do we neglect true respect for these lives? Number 6. Polar and grizzly hybrid. As Earth warms, ecosystems and their species adapt in many ways. Many habitats often shift poleward or vanish, pushing wildlife into new regions to form unprecedented interactions with resident species. When related species meet geographically, they may hybridize, creating entirely new species. A striking example is grizzly polar bear hybrids, often called grizzly bears or growlers. Brown bears, grizzlies, and polar bears are different species, adapted to ecosystems, yet closely related. Polar bears split from brown bears under 500,000 years ago. Evolution's blink. This makes their genetic similarity high enough to successfully hybridize and produce fertile offspring. With polar dad and grizzly mom, it's a pizzly. Reverse parents make a growler. These hybrid bears blend parental traits. Their coats are neither polar white nor grizzly brown, but a muted cream shade. Necks long as polar bears, shoulders humped like grizzlies. Their pads are partly hairy. Between grizzly bear pads and polar bear paws, their heads mix polar bear sleek faces with grizzly bulkier skulls. Behaviorally, these hybrids closely resemble polar bears. For example, they toss toys or stomp hard like polar bears, then sprawl flat to rest. In 2006, in Canada's Nunavut, a U.S. hunter shot a supposed polar bear, yet it looked odd. Authorities thought the hunter faced fines, jail for unlicensed hunting. Genetic tests confirmed a rare case. A wild grizzly polar bear hybrid, the first ever known recorded. In 2010, Canada's Northwest Territories confirmed another hybrid bear. Genes showed 2/3 grizzly ancestry. Studies say climate-driven hybridization stays unlikely for most species. Yet for polar bears, it's already a real potential threat. If trend continues, polar bears could go extinct. Number 5. Super ball python. The super ball python hybrid thrilled reptile fans, yet sparked debate across science and conservation worldwide today. What makes super ball python unique? And how might it affect reptile genes, ecosystems? Super ball pythons hybridize ball pythons with blood or Borneo short-tailed pythons, showing fused green, black, brown markings. Reports: New York researchers created this morph in 2002. First super ball python clutch hatched in 2005 to get stable offspring. The team spent 3 years breeding super ball python hatchlings. Super ball python unique. Behavior and biology surpass parents. Site says this hybrid feeds better than ball pythons, needs less humidity, and grows faster. Super ball pythons breed at 18 months, crossing with parents or other supers to produce offspring. These traits make it a great reptile pet and a strong moneymaker. Still, its creation draws criticism too. Super ball python looks stunning, but hybrid genetics still carry serious risks. Particular caution is advised when attempting to breed such hybrid species at home. Released hybrids can irreversibly damage native species' gene pools in the wild. Thus, herp groups urge microchipping hybrids to track origin and parentage, avoiding harm to nature. Actually, super ball python wasn't ball python's first hybrid. In nature, ball pythons sometimes hybridize, but such cases are rare. Scattered. By contrast, human-made hybrid ball pythons vastly outnumber naturally occurring hybrids. 56 ball python hybrids recognized. As many morphs await certification, hybrid pythons vary hugely. Piebalds alternate white, patternless skin with camo, while pinstripe, blonde pastel, and California king snake style morphs show other colors or textures. Some become all white or yellow, without camouflage. These morphs fascinate, but could breeding and popularizing super ball pythons reduce genetic diversity? Can hybrids partly replace purebreds? No clear answers yet, but they deserve serious reflection. 4th, beefalo. American bison once symbolized North America's prairies, strong and resilient, surviving harsh climates through long brutal winter. By late 1800s, overhunting and habitat loss drove bison numbers down sharply. Meanwhile, European cattle fit parts of North America, but couldn't endure winters or drought. Facing hardship, some ranchers proposed crossbreeding domestic cattle with American bison to create a breed combining their strengths. The initial attempt was made in 1815, when a rancher named Robert Wycliffe accidentally discovered an offspring of a domestic cow and an American bison on his farm. By chance, he grew curious about crossbreeding, then used tightly controlled matings to raise a new breed. Cattle gentle, American bison strong, and hardy overall. Yet it isn't easy. Cattle and American bison share a genus, but genetic gaps lower breeding success, and hybrid traits often vary wildly. Early 1900s. Science and tech advanced. Beefalo breeding was studied systematically and improved. Scientists mastered genetics, using selective breeding and artificial insemination to stably raise beefalo generations. These hybrids have tender beef-like cattle, plus bison hardiness, heat/cold tolerance, strong immunity. Beefalo grow fast, need less feed, and suit low-resource farming. Their arrival quickly drew strong worldwide ag livestock attention. Interest. Their value is clear. Beefalo meat is lean, high in protein and nutrients, a hallmark of healthy meat. Also, their adaptability gives growers more farming options, vital amid today's global climate change trends. For instance, beefalo thrive in frigid highlands, semi-arid plains, even extremes, opening new ranching options where traditional cattle can't. Yet beefalo's rise is controversial. Some ecologists and animal advocates remain wary of this hybrid. They fear beefalo breeding with American bison could dilute genes, threaten survival. Introducing beefalo could harm ecosystems, altering grassland vegetation, or causing competitive exclusion. Some ranchers are also skeptical about the market acceptance of beefalo, believing that consumers might prefer to buy traditional beef rather than products from this hybrid breed. Third, Cuban crocodile-American crocodile hybrid. Does this hybridization rewrite the Cuban crocodile's fate? Research results and an urgent warning to protect Cuban crocodiles. Cuban crocodiles live only in Cuba's islands, famed for powerful leaps and fierce temper. Original Cuban crocodiles topped 3,000, living mainly in Zapata and Youth Alsleña Marsh. He's vital to both Cuba's ecosystem and local culture. Also, overhunting and habitat loss once drove Cuban crocodile numbers down fast. Conservation efforts helped Cuban crocodiles rebound somewhat, but they're still endangered today. Team analyzed genes from 89 wild Cuban and American crocodiles, plus 2 zoo samples. Results: Cuban and American crocodiles differ only 1%, yet American crocodiles in Cuba differ 8% from Central American ones. So in Cuba, they're closer relatives than elsewhere. But this finding revealed a grave issue: Cuban-American crocodile hybrids. Confirmed in labs, this phenomenon also appears in the wild. Hybridization may mix genes, reshaping a species' genetics, even driving it extinct. For the Cuban crocodile, this is undoubtedly a major threat. Researchers warn hybridization may rival poaching and habitat loss as threat to Cuban crocodiles. Why does hybridization hurt Cuban crocodiles so badly? First, it can cut genetic diversity, weakening the species' adaptability overall. Sometimes hybrids replace genes, so the original species' genes fade away. Worse, this gene mixing may erase Cuban crocodiles' unique eco-cultural traits. Hybridization may impair breeding, cut offspring survival, and further endanger Cuban crocodiles' future overall. Researchers urge tighter protections to stop human activity from further worsening hybridization. Besides stopping poaching and protecting habitat, scientists urge control of American crocodiles in Cuban areas, preventing hybridization, protecting the gene pool, and improving population management cuts hybridization risk, keeping Cuban crocodiles' genetic diversity intact. Second, human-cow hybrid. Do they really exist anywhere? Many people know the Minotaur, a human-bull hybrid often seen as mere ancient legend. Yet in modern times, reports still claim such hybrids exist. Some even reach journals and official government probes. So are these creepy cases just rumors, or phenomena science can't fully explain? The most notable of these cases occurred in Hungary in 1825. According to records from a foreign medical literature journal, a resident named Benjamin Munich, after purchasing a pregnant cow, witnessed it give birth to a shocking freak. This hybrid looked unlike a normal calf. Human-like head, yet body still with cow traits. More shocking, merchants preserved the creature as a specimen. Artist Johann Muller painted its portrait. Records say this freak's head matched an adult human's. Cheeks, brows, eyes, even nose looked human. More strangely, this freak's chest grew 2 female-like breasts. Areolas and glands were almost human. His limbs, upper like bare human skin, lower covered in cow hair, ending in hoofed feet like cattle. Its body is strange and complex. Cow and human genes intertwine. Local officials and residents witnessed the event's authenticity. Afterward, an inquiry panel reviewed it and found no credible scientific explanation. And such cases aren't unique. Recently, similar reports surfaced worldwide, especially in parts of Asia, of cow-human hybrid sightings. Hard to confirm scientifically, modern gene tech can edit genes between species, even recombine cross-species. Though cow and human genes differ greatly, could covert techniques trigger hidden gene mixing or mutations without anyone noticing? Your thoughts? First place goes to jackalope. In the 1930s, Wyoming brothers Douglas and Ralph Herrick tossed a dead jackrabbit on the floor after hunting. It slid into antlers, inspiring them to mount the antlers on its head, creating the first jackalope. The Herrick brothers sold their jackalope taxidermy specimen to the Lobont Hotel in Wyoming, making the creature famous locally. Oddly, jackalope lore mirrors real disease signs. Rabbits actually sometimes grow horns from show papillomavirus infection. This virus makes antler-like tumors grow on rabbits' heads. So early jackalope sightings were likely diseased rabbits simply misidentified. Beyond its odd looks, the jackalope is said to be clever, mimic humans, and sing by campfires. Amazing campers. Also, jackalopes are very fast, said to hit 60 miles per hour. Hard to catch. They're tough survivors. Even trapped, they kick with hind legs, slash with claws, and gore with antlers. In the 1970s, Wyoming even issued thousands of jackalope hunting licenses, oddly dated June 31st, an impossible day. So, the jackalope isn't just Wyoming folklore. It's woven into local culture and humor, a true symbol there. With modern science and tech, could the jackalope exist in reality? Advances in genetics and bioengineering let scientists use gene editing to create creatures once only imagined. For example, gene engineering adds foreign genes to animals, changing looks and function, possibly creating rabbits with antler traits. No scientist has made a jackalope yet, but rapid genetic advances now make once mythical hybrid creatures seem newly plausible. That's it for this video. Of today's 10 wild animal hybrids, which stuck with you most? Tell us in comments.